Hello and welcome to the Amplify Her virtual message to movement summit. You all, I am so excited about this that I literally could start yelling, but I don't want to mess up your headphones or your speakers or whatever you're tuning in from. But I am so hyped because I have some of the most powerful women literally streaming in from around the world for this virtual summit. And so I'm ready to dig in, but I want to give you a little bit of background about Amplify Her as we get ready to kick this off. Amplify Her is a national, well, international women's organization, and our goal is to help you literally turn that message that you have, that vision, that business, that idea that you have that's been brewing for some of y'all. It's been collecting dust, and we'll get into that because it's time to get the dust off of it so that it can launch and allow it to become a movement. And that means getting your message in front of the people that need to hear it the most. That means fully booking out your client roster. That means showing up and finally writing that book, stepping on stage, launching that business. And today's panel, our first session, it's all about shifting into the mindset to experience a breakthrough in your life. We have women from I want to like just several continents right now. So as I get ready to bring my speakers up, if you're live, if you are in our comments right now, I want you to like clap it up, drop some emojis, show some love to these ladies because they are going to be bringing you some powerful nuggets to help you with your message. And the first person that we are bringing up, she is a sales expert. She is coming from a place that I believe is amazing and many of you will want to visit. So I'll let her talk about that. But welcome with me first, our sales expert, Janine. How are you doing today, Janine?
Hi, Erica. I am fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much. And how are you doing?
All is well. I'm excited to be here and have you. Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself for those who may not have connected with you before?
Yes, so my name is Janine Lingenfelder, and I'm the owner of Jelani Sales. It is a virtual sales office, and I am from the beautiful city, Dubai. I know. Been running my successful business since 2019, and I'm so excited to be here and so pumped to just share with you some sales stuff. Don't be frightened. We're going to have fun.
Yes. Well, welcome. Okay. Up next, we have another powerhouse who's going to help you change the game when it comes to your health, your wellness, and coming from a holistic approach. So, welcome with me up next, Cassandra. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Erica?
All is well. Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself for those that may not have connected with you before?
Sure. I am a master life coach as well as a holistic health practitioner, and I empower primarily women to transform their physical, emotional, and spiritual health. And we develop a regimen that allows you to be that boss woman because you're taking care of your temple. And I've been in business now for five
I
whole
love it.
years um, as the founder and CEO of Holistic Living Consulting, and I am hailing from the natural state, Arkansas.
Yes. Well, congrats. Shout out to you that are in Arkansas. We have Indiana on. We got Canada, Janine's in Dubai. And up next, Natasha, who is another powerhouse that is going to help you transform your brand. And it's so much bigger than just colors. And she's teaching us that as well. So, Natasha, how are you doing today?
Hi, awesome. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. So, I'm Natasha from Designer Art, and I help you do your branding, consulting, and communication from a visual perspective using art and branding psychology.
Yes. So I want to just jump in right now first with Janine, Natasha, and Cassandra, because Cassandra, you just said you celebrated 5 years. Janine has like traveled the globe, literally, helping people with sales. Natasha is changing lives through art, through design, and even incorporating therapy in the artwork that she does. Can you all talk about the type of mindset that it takes to show up big in your business? Because I think that's one of the blocks that many of us can face. Like we have the idea, but it's a little It's a little bold to have to like launch out and really show up consistently. Can we start with you, Janine? How do you have that mindset to keep showing up?
You know what? It's such a big topic actually, because the mind is so strong. I mean, I think we only use like 5%. Some people only use 2. And I think the exciting thing is that if you just believe a little bit in yourself and really surround yourself with people that's really lifting you up, keeping your fire going, why would your mindset be anything other than awesome? I mean, there's powerful women that's listening to today. There's people in this room that I cannot wait to connect. I just cannot, because I just know that they are going to keep my fire going. And if you surround yourself with people that keeps doing that, I dare you to do something different.
Yeah.
Yes, like that's that signature. I dare you. Dare you to do something. And I think about too, like I've been reading this week. Your gift will make room for you and bring you before a great man. One of my favorite verses. And you see that, like when I see women like yourselves coming together, making connections, referring people out. When you shift your mindset, sometimes we can get stuck thinking that we have to call up all the negative Nancy's and tell them, I'm not talking to you anymore. You don't have to, because you're going to start attracting the right people when you show up big. Yeah. So I'll start with you, Cassandra. So what are your thoughts around that, like that mindset and how it shifted your business?
Mindset for me has been critical. It is the foundation. And the one thing about it, as a CEO, as an entrepreneur, when you realize in your mind that yes, you might be the owner of your business, but in all actuality, this is God's business, it shifts how you behave. When you believe in a higher power, you act accordingly. And so that's been honestly the biggest game changer for me. And then also with the mindset, for those who don't know my personal story, my mind, for many years, I lived in really bad health, didn't think I was going to be here because I had systemic lupus. And when my mind changed, God blessed me to heal. So when you start thinking differently, the universe will attract. It's great. Everyone is having the same synchronicity as far as what we attract, because when your mind starts thinking differently, the universe will bring different things to you, but it can't when you're out of order. It's just like going to that vending machine and you see the big sign out of service, you don't put your money in it. But then when it's corrected, then yeah, you put the money in and get what you expect. And with God, it works the same or a similar way.
Amen to that. Absolutely. And Natasha was like, no negative Nancy's. My circle is powerful. So can you talk a little bit about that as well? Natasha, how has mindset shifted your business?
Mindset for me came from being strong enough to be vulnerable, having the strength to ask the woman around you. We're all in this together, and I completely believe in energies. The universe will give you what you put in. The biggest move for me in my own business was getting those negative people out of my life. And the second I did that, and the second I had a support structure like Janine, who I love to bits, who's a close friend of mine, the second those amazing people into my circle, my whole mindset changed. And every day we're allowed to have bad moments. We're allowed to have a negative moment, but have the strength to reach out and call someone and go, I kind of need a lift. And having that vulnerability gives you the opportunity to go, okay, I'm human. Now I'm ready to take on the world again. And that's a really big step.
That's so good. And that's it. Like at the end of the day, we're human. So sometimes I know I've been that negative Nancy. And I had a friend, she and I would always quote this other verse that's my favorite. Like, if you want friends, be friendly. Like, show yourself to be a friendly person. If you want friends, if you want people to come around, you become that. And so the reason that I show up even in this space so excited is because I know, like I saw this post and someone was talking about Mean Girls. in women's empowerment groups and, you know, like where they've had such bad experiences. And I'm like, not an Amplify Her. I'm like, everyone's just so amazing. But that's just the vibe. That's the energy that we bring, is like, if you show yourself friendly, you will have friends. You will, you know, bring that around you. So I want to bring up another person who's very friendly. She's so inspiring. And she teaches in the area of finances and how to shift that too. So we're going to add Dawn up here to our panel. If you can introduce yourself, Dawn, and tell us just a little bit about who you are and what you teach on.
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for introducing me, Erica. My name is Dawn Santoriello, and I'm a certified financial planner, best-selling author of Manifest and Invest, Live Your Best Life, Get Your Money Right. So I love all this talk about mindset. It's my jam. And what I do is I help people achieve financial freedom with peace of mind, so that way they could always live their best life and always get their money right.
I love that. So I would love for you to answer the question, Dawn. Can you talk to us a little bit about mindset and how that shifted? Because I know you've had some big shifts with how you approach your business and your finances. So how did mindset play a role?
Sure. It all started like a long time ago when I read The Secret or watched the movie. And ever since then, I've like harnessed it. I came up with my own manifestation prayer that I worked with my spiritual coach on. And I basically transform everything in my life, my business, where I want to live, friends, like you mentioned, surround yourself with great friends. I attract everything I need, and everything always comes at the right time in perfect divine timing. So yeah, you can't be negative. You have to always get to a high vibe, find out, okay, what makes me feel alive, the most alive. So for me, it's dancing. And if I'm kind of negative, I'll just turn on the radio, start dancing in the living room, and I'm on the high vibe and I attract everything. And your thoughts too. So because I'm a powerful manifestor, so I'll think things and it just happens. And then I've also attracted an amazing healer into my life too. So together we're just like, he works on the long term and I do the quick term of quickly manifest. So it's a great powerhouse couple, like for business that way. And so, yeah, I'm all about mindset. I teach people how to do that, showing you how to go from absolutely nothing. Like, you know, my story, I was basically stuck in a parking garage with $200 to my name. And then later that year, I made over 6 figures for my first year. So if I could do it, you can do it. And everyone watching this, the only thing limiting you is you. So get out of your way and let's do this.
Yes, I love that. Dawn's like, let's go. It's go time. So I'm going to bring up another speaker who is yet another powerhouse. And as y'all are talking, I'm like, I literally feel like I could just give 15 different verses, because as a man thinketh, so is he. And I was just reading that as well. It's like our thoughts, they matter. Like what we're repeating to ourselves, what we think, what we believe, how we're showing up, it matters. And it makes a difference with what we start seeing take place in our business. So I love that. So Monica, come on up. The Monica Miller, powerhouse speaker, author. She will help you transform your Amazon ads and everything in between. So can you tell us just a little bit about yourself, Monica, and what you're up to these days?
Yeah. So my name is Monica Miller. I am your content guide, and I help women entrepreneurs really get their voices out and get their marketing game on, because a lot of women struggle with the marketing piece, especially if you are an author and struggling on how to market your book because you wrote this masterpiece. Now it's like, what do I do? So I help authors really create that marketing game plan that is in alignment with you, because not all marketing strategies are effective for you. So we find the right marketing strategy for you. I'm also a writer, so I have some writing clients, and I coach women how to really find their voice through marketing. So that's a little bit about me. And was there no question to this? Like, yeah, there was only one question, but I feel like I
definitely have more questions. So we have a couple other speakers. Yeah, you know I have more questions, Monica. So one of the things that I think that is so powerful about your story, and many of us that are up here, it seems that the very area that we've been attacked in, challenged in. I know I was told by a professor of Spanish when I was in college. She said, the reason that you can't speak Spanish, Erica, is because you can't speak English. And I was so offended, like, ma'am, I'm a major, like, this is my major. And I remember feeling so offended. And then I like went on to like write all these books and things. But Have you had a time, Monica, where like the very area that you're helping in, marketing, speaking, writing, where that area was challenged, and how did you shift your mindset to show up bigger?
Yeah. So here's a little bit about my background. So when I was a little girl, I actually had a speech impediment, and I talked a lot because if you follow human design, I have a defined throat, and I like to talk, but not everyone could understand me. I remember people asking my sister, "What did she say?" or asking me, "Can you slow down?" And it just grew quickly tiresome. So then I learned, once I learned how to write, I felt like that was a really great outlet for me because no one could ask me, "Well, what do you say? Can you repeat that?" They didn't have to ask me anymore because I could write it out. And I believe it was that very thing that catapulted me to helping more people get what is in their throat, which is their words and their brilliance, and getting it out into the world. And I have been in marketing since 2014. Really, I considered it writing when I first started out, but it really was marketing. And so I just grew in that. One of the biggest mindset shifts I think I've had in the last 2 years is, like I said, I'm pretty big into human design because once I discovered my design, my uniqueness, because I was really just running my business like everyone else's, like all the manifesting generators. And then I realized I'm a projector. I have such a different vibe and a different way of receiving. So I would say, get like that. For me, that was a turning point. Once I understood that, I understood like God created me to receive differently, and that's okay. And these other things wasn't going to work because of how I was made. And since I tapped into that, I feel like more and more things are just shifting and aligning with me. And just this past month has been one of my highest cash paying months. And I've actually stopped taking clients just for right now because I realized, I also realized I'm like, okay, I need to slow down. So I need to integrate these, this high cash month. I need to integrate the new clients I got before I set more. And so I think the mindset shift for me was understanding my energy and then beginning to tap in it. And I feel like one of the things that God has been really helping me on is trusting Him. And trust takes time. Trust in yourself, trust in God, trust in whatever higher source you believe in, and just really, knowing it's going to take time. If you start today, 3 months from now, you're going to see your growth if you continue to be at it. And like I said, once you understand all that, I think it's just like learning to trust yourself, knowing you're going to mess up, knowing that things, and you're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. Because what worked today is not going to work 3 months from now. And give yourself immense grace because we are doing it sloppy and messy and imperfect, and that's where the practice comes in. So I dare you to just give yourself grace, learn to trust, and then get into a true alignment with how you were meant to receive, and you start tapping into that.
I love that. It's so important that we're clear too on what we're meant to do, because too often we can get caught up in the templates and you just got to swipe this. And I'm going to shout out Shay Bynes. She's the author of Grace Over Grind. If you're not familiar with it, y'all go find that right now. She's not even a part of this summit, but that's just a shameless plug because she talks about lining up with God's will for your life. And too often everyone's trying to give you this blueprint, but she talked about having God's framework. And when you have that, just like you said, Monica, you will look up and it's your best month. It's the best thing that you've experienced just by being authentic. So up next, we have Ginger, who is another powerhouse. I said she's like a comedian / brand ambassador, chemist, like just so many talents. But Ginger, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself for those who may not have connected with you before? Oh, and you're muted just in case.
Hi.
Ginger helped me out earlier. I was muted and now she's muted.
Okay.
Yes.
So hi everyone. I'm a cosmetic chemist. I help people to build their own beauty brand from concept to launch, including formulation. Originally, when I was much younger, I wanted to be a makeup artist, but because of my background, in Asian, I was expected to, go for a science degree, if not a PhD, at least a master's degree. So I'm not a cosmetic chemist, and I never regret I took the decision because I now create a product rather than just apply the product. So in this conversation, I just want to show, sometimes in life, it's not only one way. There are many ways to achieve what you want to do.
Yes, I love that. So we're going to bring up also, we have Laura. Laura Nicole Brown, who is another powerhouse that talks about branding. So Laura, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do?
Yeah, thanks, Erica. So I'm Laura Nicole Brown, and I'm the founder of Inspirati, and I help purposeful entrepreneurs build brands and websites with intention, personality, and impact.
I love that. I love that. Like, Laura's like straight to the point. I'm going to help you. And Laura, can you tell us where you're coming from as well?
So I'm from the UK.
I love that. Okay. I have to get it straight too, because I said I've been giving people like credit for being in a whole different continent. And they're like, Erica, I'm next door to you in North Carolina. What are you talking about? So we have women literally from all over. If you're watching right now, I'm loving the comments. So let us know where you're from. And if something is resonating with you from the speakers, definitely drop your comments. Tell us. I see someone says, yes, there are so many ways to achieve success. And our next speaker, Rita, talks about downsizing as a way to achieve your success too, which she has impacted, all of you all have. But I got off of my first introduction to Rita about in tears, excited, ready to purge and all that. So I want to bring up Rita. Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself and what it means to be the downsizing designer?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. So glad to be here. Thanks for having us. So I'm Rita Wilkins, also known as the downsizing designer. So for 40 years, I've owned an interior design business. And then a number of years ago, I had a very, very large home. And my younger son invited me to visit him in Senegal. He was in the Peace Corps at the time. And that trip to a third world country changed my life. Because I had a big, beautiful home, and being in the world of interior design, you surround yourself with beautiful things. But the bottom line was I wasn't happy. So I go to a third world country, and I'm sitting there on the ground, her kitchen table with 16 people, and everyone's smiling and laughing. And my table at home sat 16 people, but it wasn't a happy table. So I came home from that trip and realized I was so impacted by people who have nothing, but they were happy. So the first time in my life, I said, I want that so badly. How do I get it? So I downsized from my very large home, 5,000 square feet, to 867 square feet. And I gave away 95% of my stuff, and I've never been happier. So that's why I do what I do. It's why I help people downsize, live with less, so they can live a more abundant life with less. So Socrates said, the secret to happiness is not found in seeking more, but in developing the capacity to enjoy less. It took me a very long time to understand exactly what that means. But right now, I'm living in a beautiful home. I guess I would call myself a minimalist, but I'm surrounding myself with only the things that I love. And that means not just stuff, it's people. It's things that I do. So that is really, you just winnow your life down from having to have it all to having only what you want.
That's so good. And Catherine, we're going to bring her up. Y'all, if you have questions, Catherine is our final speaker. So I know you're like, whoa, this is a lot of women. And I'm excited because that means it's just all the more resources that you have. So if you're watching live and you have questions for anyone that you've seen, Janine, Natasha, Cassandra, we got Don, Ginger, anyone, if it's resonated with you, you can share your questions, and we're going to keep going with our panel. So Catherine, Catherine, you are like, I'm like, every time I look at each of y'all, I'm like, such a powerhouse. She's such a dynamite. Catherine's yet another dynamite powerhouse. Can you tell us just a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yep, absolutely. So thank you for having me here. Super excited to be with all these incredible women. This is extraordinary. I'm clear why you put this together. My name is Catherine Bell. My company is Titan Impact Group, and I add commas to bank accounts and collapse timelines. because I'm clear that money is like oxygen, and the more you have, the easier it is to breathe. And the more you have and the easier you can breathe, the bigger the difference in the world that you can make. And my whole focus really is teaching women how, we call it same rules apply, that all those skills for you to be an extraordinary mom and wife and homemaker and all of that are the exact same skills that actually have you be a brilliant investor. And so by creating multiple streams of income, the average millionaire has 7 streams of passive income. And I learned that. And I actually created that for my family out of creating our dreams. And what ended up happening was back in 2018, my husband died unexpectedly, leaving me a widow with 14-year-old twins. And at that time, I created 13 streams of passive income for our family. And because I created that, it gave me and my twins the freedom to actually grieve. And so the whole point is to teach women, and I hold their hand and walking them through creating passive streams of income, because life is going to happen, ladies. And so creating those intentionally so that you have that breathing room, but more importantly, that you have the ability now to really live out your full purpose in the world, and whatever that God called you here to do on the planet, you have a purpose. So when and that piece is taken care of, our finances taken care of, now you have that freedom to really fulfill on your heart's deepest desire and really live out that purpose that you really are put on this planet for. So that's what I do, and that's what I'm here for. And I've got a book on my website, walks you through all of that. And, we create plans and literally give you streams of income to make this all happen. So I think it's important for all of us as women, because as women, we are creators. We create relationships. We literally create human beings in our bodies. So by having that ability to continue to create, because the financial piece is taken care of, really women are extraordinary in the philanthropic work that they actually do around the world. So that's what I do. And that's what I'm here to walk anybody through, that if that's what they want, multiple streams of income. So thank you.
Yes. So one of the things that I want to touch on, and anyone can answer this question. And I want to say thank you to everyone. I feel like there may be like some delays. I don't know if it is for everyone, but I feel like I'm over here battling, like swinging on the technology. So thank you. Like that, for those of you that are commenting and tuning in, thank you for being patient if it is freezing. But if it's not, then disregard all of that. So I want to ask the question, because I feel like a lot of people have ideas, but then when it comes to like actually implementing it, that can be fun, I would say, but then sustaining it and staying consistent and getting to the place of results, which all of you that are up here today, you have results. What encouragement or tips do you have around that? And if you're back, whether you're backstage or on stage, who has some tips about how to be more consistent? That could answer that question. I want to start with Ginger. I was already looking at you, Ginger. I want to start with the Ginger, if you can answer that question.
Sure. To have consistency, you must know your why, your emotional why, especially. For example, I'm actually trying to lose weight right now, just an example. And it's been taking like a lot of time, try the diet, exercise, but if you don't keep continuing, you're not going to see the results. So I finally said, I'm going to have the results in my mind. That's going to be very painful for me if I don't achieve it. Because the reason why people don't achieve their goal is because their reward is not big enough. So the challenge for myself is I set a goal. If I don't achieve this goal, I will not see my favorite person in the world, in life, in person. So I've been doing well because I have this emotional why.
That's so good. Like having that big why. I knew you were going to be like, hey, Laura can pick that up. So yes, can you talk about that?
Yeah, so I think for me, being consistent, I think a big part of it actually is a mindset. So like we talked about earlier, I think that's a huge part of it, being in the right mindset of being consistent and realizing the importance of it. But I also think actually having some kind of system, some kind of plan to actually be consistent as well is really important. If you're just trying to be consistent, but you don't really even know how you're doing that, I think that is crucial too. And I know that from my personal experience of struggling with consistency, and definitely having kind of a system and process definitely really helps.
That's so good. And Catherine, because you talk about even like multiple income streams, I know like sometimes that can be challenging to get that going. So how do you build consistency? And I'm bringing Janine up next because she's talking about sales. And I feel like sales is where people just fall off with being consistent. So Catherine, can you talk about that, building multiple income streams, and how do you stay consistent?
So I love this question. It's, it comes down to accountability, right? Like when we actually put it out there and we get a mentor or get a coach, or even tell the people in our lives that we love what we're up to and, what we're going to accomplish and by when, and literally ask them, seriously, hold me accountable to this, because life is going to get uncomfortable. Let's face it, like creating any of this, it's not comfortable. It's not convenient. However, like they said before, having a powerful why, having the systems and structures, and that accountability piece is a critical piece for us being able to get to that next level and be able to achieve whatever it is we're out to achieve. That is a big, big piece. And then the other piece is getting really clear on the who, not the how. That's the other piece. Is I feel like we all get stuck in the tyranny of how do I do this? How do I do this? How? It's like, if you ask better questions, you get better answers. So if you focus on who has been there and done that, and rather than me taking this very long, painful road to learn it, can literally just springboard me from here to here, that's the person I need to connect with and do exactly what they're telling me to do, and literally like allow them to take me there. It's much like a friend of mine had wanted to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, never did any training, anything. But what he did was he just showed up to the base of the mountain, and he knew that if he literally walked in the footsteps of the Sherpa right in front of him, he would get to the top. It's the same for us, ladies. So it's that who can help us actually get there rather than how.
That's so good. Like your circle, it matters. Who you're surrounding yourself with. And the reason even at AmplifyHER, the reason I'm like so excited about this summit is because it was even in free environments. Like it's not even that, you sacrificed your first child and spent like $20 million to be there. There are sometimes just being around people in a positive environment, it can change your life. So I would even encourage you, if you're listening right now and you're going to see our speakers are going to be sharing free options and opportunities and consultations, do not take it lightly, because it literally can change your life. And I know it because I've heard one little thing from like a podcast or something like that, and I implemented it and it changed my life. So Janine, can you talk about the consistency and showing up?
Oh, you know what? That is one of the most important things. And it's not just in life, but coming back as being a sales mentor for business owners, your sales message should be consistent across all of your marketing materials and sales interactions. And this will help you to create a strong brand identity and build trust. We mentioned trust earlier with your prospects. Now, the one thing, embracing consistency as a woman can be both empowering and very much enjoyable. And it's creating that vibrant routine by blending activities you love. And of course, we mentioned goals earlier. Bring that what you love within your goals and infuse self-care into your daily habits. And people celebrate the small victories. We tend to just want to focus on the big things. Oh, I bought a car. No, man, you woke up. And what did you do? You showed up. That is something to celebrate. Don't focus on the big things. The small things do count. And it's because of those small things that you celebrate will change your mind. So I dare you to unravel the mysteries of your own potential.
So many things. I'm like, goodness gracious, between showing up, being excited, and celebrating the small things. Like sometimes we'll have a goal. I want to get in front of 20,000 people. And so we ignore the 20 people, like God has given you a platform to speak to your coworkers, to that one client that came in, and how much do they matter? A lot, in my opinion, because if you can do it for one, you can do it for 1,000. When you show that gratitude and appreciation. Natasha's like pumping her fist. It's go time. I would love to hear what you have to say about this, Natasha. What are some of your thoughts on being consistent?
So I absolutely resonate with what's been said, particularly with what Catherine said about collaboration. One of the biggest things about consistency is realizing your own strength. If you have strength in this space and somebody has strength in a space that you're striking consistent, again, going back to being strong enough to be vulnerable, collaborate, get together, because one strength can be another's strength. So definitely spend time on that, and spend time surrounding yourself with things that motivate you. Because if you're somebody who hates doing, for example, your to-do list, then create a beautiful bullet journal that will get you involved and get you excited about doing that. And it's exactly the same as your brand. Use that visual psychology to trick yourself or motivate yourself into doing the little things to keep you consistent. What you see visually is a really powerful tool. So as much as you can use it in your brand, use it in your day-to-day life to help you become consistent and collaborate.
I love that. And this is what it brings to mind for me, is being grateful. When we have those small wins, when we have those things that seem simple to some people, if we can learn to be grateful, we can shift into that. So I would love to hear from you, Dawn, who I feel like you've kind of talked about that, especially when it comes to finances. Everyone has these big financial goals and we want to be a multi-gazillionaire by next week. What are your thoughts around being grateful in the journey along the way?
Oh, I'm grateful for everything I have. And the one thing I want to add on to what's been said is, one, you have to just know in your inner being that you are going to be successful. And years before I actually had my own financial planning firm, I go to bed at night, I am a successful financial planner with her own firm. I just kept saying that over and over. And quite honestly, I don't think I really wanted my own firm, but I just kept saying it. And then it happened. And then you have to, the reason you need that knowing is because you're going to be your biggest cheerleader. Things are going to come at you. You're going to be in fear. Like, I had to go sideways to go forward. I told you I had to go work at a seedy bar. I had to do manual labor for my neighbor just to keep going. I was never giving up in my business because I knew I was going to be successful. So I just kept going. Even when everything else said no, quit, you just kept going to networking events, kept going out there. Then I had attracted people, and that just propelled me even further and further. Even though it looked like a roadblock, it was something that actually I overcame and led me to even greaterness. So you have to be strong in knowing that you are going to make it. If you're not passionate and don't have that, then chances are you're not going to make it. You have to be your biggest supporter and just have that internal knowing. And then gratitude. I am so grateful. I had a miracle occur health-wise, and I just kept thanking God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. It was like, so miracles and faith, trusting and knowing are the key to everything. Even when it looks bleak, as long as you're strong in that, things are going to turn around for you.
Yeah. Dawn, you better preach. You had better preach. She said when she went to bed, like, the things that you speak are so powerful. I love that you shared that, because a lot of times you might be listening to someone right now and you're thinking, okay, well, I don't say that, but we're saying something, whether it's I have the biggest firm, or I am impacting lives around the world, or I suck and life is horrible. Like, we say something. So it's time, I think, that we capture. I just love that you said that, Dawn. And even that weakness and strength. Another favorite verse of mine is like, God's strength is made perfect when we're feeling weak. In our weakness, that's when God can show up so big and we can experience like those miracles that you talked about, Dawn.
I just got chills.
That was a whole message by itself. Okay. So I want to go to Cassandra and Rita. Let's talk about gratitude, or even like some of those mindset practices that you've held on to that have helped you. I actually want to start with you, Rita, because something that you said that I think is so powerful is that even as you start getting rid of things, you found that it gave you more. Like, releasing has given you more time, more freedom, more money. So can you talk about that?
Sure. So, when you think about, maybe, let's just say your house, and you're surrounded by way too much stuff. And when you start to declutter some of the things in your home, you start to feel lighter, you feel freer. So what happens is you actually end up with more time, more money, and more freedom, and actually more energy to do the things that really matter to you. And so part of the commitment there is to believe that you can design a life that you really want. So for me, living a life with less was a vision that I created for myself. And the less I had, the more abundant my life became. So you have to let go of those negative mindsets that say, I can't do this. It's impossible. Look at this mess. How do I possibly downsize or declutter this? And the reality is, if you take it all in little chunks, one step at a time, one shelf at a time, it's all very doable. And I don't know if any of you have tried to declutter any room in your house, but if you just try one drawer at a time, you'll start to feel lighter. And then you start to develop more freedom until finally you can just live that life that you really want.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's so good. Cassandra, speak to us about how, I would say gratitude, because I feel like you're someone that I love how you celebrate. It doesn't matter like how big someone can see it to be or how small or anything. Like, you're someone who's always finding you're like, you have talked to me. I'm like, I just can't wait to hear you share how you do this. You've talked to me about stuff that most people would be like, oh my gosh, that was a closed door. And you're like, and let me tell you how God turned it around and it was a win, you know? So how do you stay in that mindset of a winner and stay grateful?
Yeah. You know, the first thing as a CEO is knowing that there is no single action that leads to huge results. There is not one thing you can do that's going to get you whatever your dream is. It may be, I remember the time when I would do lives and I thought no one was watching, but guess what? Someone was. I'll never forget when ABC did call, when the ABC executive producer did call. At first I thought I was being pranked, honestly. Thought my best friend was pranking me, but once I realized this is for real, she had saw me in social media. So show up, be consistent, even when you think no one's watching, people are watching. And honestly, that happened for me. I think my first year in business, actually, I had only been a year in business. And so I've learned that no matter what you're doing, even when I get on Facebook Live or whatever, and I think no one's watching, I celebrate, because guess what? I know that God has blessed me with the expertise to transform lives. It's not about what you do per se. It's the impact you're making, because once you show up, be consistent, I guarantee you that people will reach out. You'll get those messages, well, I was ready to give up, but fill in the blank, how that person felt impacted. And honestly, that is what shifts my mindset on the days where I think, hey, I could go back to corporate America and just take a salary and have life a little easier as far as the workload. But when you remember the people that you're called to serve, it changes how you think about yourself, and it affects everything. It literally changes the game.
That's so good. I like, y'all gonna make me throw something. Like, when I get excited, I'm ready to, like, let me throw my phone, because you said something, Cassandra. How often do we show up and feel like, well, no one's listening, no one's watching, I quit? We're on episode 3 of that podcast. Someone has an unfinished podcast season right now because they thought no one was listening, and they were 1 or 2 episodes away from being like one of the most listened to podcasts and didn't know it, you know, and they quit. And so I want to, I kind of want to shift gears and talk about that. Before I shift gears, we are getting so many amazing comments and feedback. And if you're listening and you're like, oh my gosh, how do I get in touch with Catherine? I want multiple income streams. Or how do I get in touch with Dawn or Janine or Natasha or Cassandra, Laura, Monica? I know it's a lot. Ginger is going to help you launch your cosmetics brand. go to AmplifyHERmovement.com. You're going to get to learn about all of our speakers. You can catch the replay. So make sure you go to AmplifyHERmovement.com, and you probably should share this right now, like 100%. And also, you will have access to the replay. So if this is robust, I'm glad, because I want you to be able to watch these panel talks for the next couple of weeks and still get something new every time you listen to it, as you're making these shifts. So Monica, can you talk to us about, because you talk about showing up. You've talked about that, being able to show up, whether it's through ads, through being able to tell stories in a powerful way. What's the importance, or what are some of your thoughts about how you're able to stay consistent with how you show up?
Yeah, I feel like some of you ladies have already said this, but one is being excited. Some of us are easily excitable. Like, I'm pretty easily excitable. I get excited really easy. So if there's like a new offer, or I just talked to a new client, or I just got a, referral that booked me out, for the month of August, I'm showing up really excited. When you're showing up excited, you won't just share. Like, whenever you're excited, use that opportunity to share. Share with social media, share, with your newsletter, maybe call your mom, share with her, and they go show you out into the world, because people are going to feel that excitement. When you are excited, people want to be a part of that. Another side to this is being vulnerable. I know some of you ladies have already talked about this, but look at what's going on in your life right now and see if there's a lesson or something that somebody needs to heal. Because if you're going through it, the likelihood of somebody else needing to hear that same message needs to hear it too. Like, I've shared a couple of experiences I had in the past, and people were like, yeah, I've been through that too. Or and I share the outcomes. This morning, I shared about how my son talked about how he couldn't do something. So I used the opportunity to let him know, like, this is where we all began, and you showed up. And I turned that into, oh yeah, as business owners, we just need to show up too, because what we're doing matters. We showed up, and that should be, that is good enough. And so it's just being excited and, learning to take these little simple moments and turning it into a story and being authentic through that. Now, as far as consistency, I always say do what feels good for you. Number one, I always say, see where it works out in your time schedule and block it off, make it a priority. And then two, understand, once again, your energy. Are you a pantser? I'm a pantser. Or are you one of those people who, you need a time block, write maybe a whole bunch of content, and then schedule it out for the month? Do what works for you. Everyone's different, but the consistency part is the same. It's just how you are going to show up. And like I said, it's easier to show up when you're excited about something. So start there.
Yes. So I want to pass the mic to you, because I feel like when we think about some of the blocks, I know you have to have like a special, unique experience, because I'm sure people come to you, they're so ready, like, just put my website up. Like, if I put my website up, life is going to be grand and I'll live happily ever after once it goes up. But we know that there's work that needs to go behind that. So can you talk about, I don't know, let me know if it's like freezing on your end, because I know I'm freezing.
Who are you talking to? I think that's where
I don't know. I hope you can hear me. Can you talk about the mindset work can you hear me, Laura?
Oh, sorry, you talking to me? I didn't know you were talking to me. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no worries. I think it cut me out. That's why I told y'all we're fighting for this panel. Do you find that people need to do mindset work before they leap into just putting up the website? What are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, I think there is a lot of mindset work. I do think, and a lot of it comes from as well. Actually, people are often, when they're looking at doing a website, they often kind of want to jump in and really don't really think about the strategy behind it. In my experience, where there's so much thinking that actually goes behind it. So, for example, the branding part is a huge part of that thinking. And I think a lot of people kind of think branding is a lot more simplistic than it is, just thinking about like, you know, colors and fonts and those sorts of things, but it's so much deeper than that. And I think a lot of people really overlook the opportunity, for example, thinking about things like their messaging, their purpose, their values, all those sorts of things that really should be really identified and get clarity on before you actually even start thinking about the visual side or thinking about a website. So I think there is a lot of mindset behind it. And I think there's a lot of thinking that goes into it before you even like kind of start writing the copy or start looking for images or start doing any of that work. I think it really has to come from a place of intention.
Yes. So I am wanting to know from you, Ginger. So what we're going to do right now, because I wish we had at least another like 10 hours with every single one of y'all, because this is some good stuff, like some really good tips. But I would love for you, I want to go around for everyone that wants to get in touch with you, for all of our speakers. And if they could only take one thing away from what you had to share today, we're just going to share like, what's that one powerful tip for the audience and how can we get in touch with you? And let's start with you, Ginger.
Sure. You can get in touch with me with my Instagram. My IG is the Beauty Shark Ginger. The Beauty Shark Ginger. The takeaway actually from everybody's talk today is really to have clarity in what you want to do. And also for me, always it start with the why, because if you don't know your why, how are you gonna have the rest of the steps? So, I mean, if you want to connect with me, I'm not only doing beauty, a lot of my thing is also around business development. So I can help you in that as well. A lot of people come to me because when you are a cosmetic chemist, they already have the preoccupied thoughts. So like, can you make me a moisturizer? Can you make me a sunscreen? Can you make me this? Can you make me that? However, I start with a consulting call, and most likely after you talk with me, the things that you want to make is actually not right for you. So knowing, clarity is important.
Yes. And I love that you've touched on that a lot, Ginger. Just knowing that why, having that strong, powerful why with how you show up. So we will, again, if you go to AmplifyHerMovement.com, you'll be able to get all of the bios, websites, opt-ins from all of our speakers. This next person, someone's already singing her praises in the comment section. Catherine Bell is amazing, and I would agree. It says, she is my mentor. She's pushed me out of my comfort zone. Is it hard? Absolutely. But God is my foundation. And having a mentor is a building block to my future. I do show up even when I don't want to. I love that, Catherine. I'm like, conference isn't even over. You already got a testimonial. Can you speak, just share, what's that one thing that you hope the audience walks away with, and how can we get connected and support what you're doing?
I love it. So yes, anybody that works with me knows, or is around me for longer than 30 seconds knows I give you homework. So ladies, here's your homework. So get a pen and paper because you're going to do this. Success leaves clues. Okay. What I'm about to give you, every millionaire, and I have several friends who are billionaires, all have done what I'm about to give you to do. And so you understand, you do this, you should get the same, if not similar results. And the biggest thing happens between our ears. Okay. So what it is, here's your homework. This book right here, it's called The Science of Getting Rich. Okay. And here's what you're meant to do. It's a teeny tiny book. Here's the homework, ladies. You read through this book once. Honestly, it should take you maybe 2 hours. Then what you do for 90 days, every single day you read chapters 4, 7, 11, and 14. Chapters 4, 7, 11, and 14 every single day for 90 days. If you miss a day, you start all over again. This is a very, very powerful tool. You do this and it'll take you maybe 20 minutes. The chapters are really tiny. The point being, you change this, your whole world changes. And there actually is a science behind this. So yes, do this. How you can get a hold of me, you can go to my website, titanimpactgroup.com. I've got 2 free books there. Feel free to download them. It literally shows you how to add commas to your bank accounts. And There's a link there that you can talk with me. Schedule a call. I'd love to get to know you, how I can help you, how we can make a difference, and more importantly, what is the impact you want to make in the world? And so I'm happy to always connect you to anybody to help make that happen,
Yes.
and to level up. So, and thank you for the shout out in the chat. That was beautiful.
Awesome. Dawn, I know you got to run. So we're going to run to Dawn really quick. Can you tell us how can we support you in that next step?
Sure. Well, we all have a goal that we want to achieve financial freedom. So I literally wrote the book on how to do that. You can find it on my website, which I'll post in the chat right now, dsfinancialstrategies.com. So I would encourage you to all go buy my book, Manifest and Invest, Live Your Best Life, Get Your Money Right. And then also after you read that, I could help you with a complimentary consultation on how I could put you in a better financial position. And I want to thank you for having me here, all the other fellow women. This was a pleasure. I loved hearing everyone's story. And thank you so much, Erica.
Thank you so much, Dawn. I'm hugging you because I know you're sailing off to go be so much more amazing in every step of the day. So thank you as well. Thank you, Catherine. And Janine, can you tell us what's that one word of wisdom that you want them to take away, and how can we support you?
Oh my, I'm so pumped. I can't believe the time has been going so fast. There's a section in my book that I actually talk about decluttering your desk if it's not bringing you money. And you can reach it on my website, which is jelanisales.com, and have a look, have fun. It's called the 7 Sweet Spots of Sales. And the one thing I think people need to take out of today is to really just embrace each day as an opportunity to make choices aligned with your values and aspirations. Take ownership, seek that growth that you're looking for, and craft a narrative of purpose and fulfillment. This was such a great event. And thank you so much, Erica. And I dare you to embrace vulnerability as a source of strength. I am Janine from Jelani Sales.
Yes, thank you, Janine. By the way, when you're hearing Janine say, I dare you, and you're hearing some of these powerhouse women, go to AmplifyHerMovement.com, because we also will be streaming some live talks from some of our speakers that you're seeing today. So I want to swing it on down to Rita, because Janine, you just talked about decluttering that desk. And Rita, I have so many questions. I want to just say this really quick. Rita had a TED Talk that has literally reached over 1 million people. That's how powerful I believe what she is saying is to helping us to maximize life, not just your business, but life. But what's that one thing, Rita, that you hope we walk away with today that can help us, and how can we support you?
So I just want to say it is possible to live with less and live a rich and abundant life. I'm not saying don't try to make money, because I've had a company for 40 years. I love making money. But when you look at your entire life, what really makes you happy? What I realized, it wasn't stuff. It was about people, experiences, and living in alignment with what matters most to you. So I just want to have people take away that it is possible for you to design a life that you love. When you take time to do a self-assessment, what's working, what's not working, what matters most to you, and what you want and what you don't want. Create a vision for that, and then take actions to go after it. So I am a believer that you can design a life that you love. My website is Rita Wilkins at ritawilkins.com. I'm on Facebook Live every Tuesday night, Eastern Time at 7 p.m. I talk about downsizing, decluttering, lifestyle design. And you can go to Amazon to get my book, which is Downsize Your Life, Upgrade Your Lifestyle, Secrets to More Time, Money, and Freedom. And Erica, thank you. And thank you, all of the women. This is a powerful group, and I've learned so much from you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rita. I feel like I can hug all of y'all. Every time I talk to Rita, I'm like, I'm just giving you a hug through the screen. I want to pass the mic to you, Natasha. Natasha, I believe, like, not only are you gifted when it comes to business and branding, but you are also one of the most selfless entrepreneurs that I know. Like, you epitomize the statement that Zig Ziglar made, that I'm going to like remix it because I never quote it correctly, but he said, if you can have anything that you want, if you go out and help enough other people have what they want. And literally, like, that's what you have already done, Natasha. But what's that big takeaway that you have for us today, and how can we support what you're doing?
I think the biggest takeaway today is all about the relationships and the collaboration. Not being scared to make these connections, to get out there, to speak to people, and to get people to help you with your mindset and to help you with anything else that you may need. So just make the connections, collaborate, speak to people, and don't be scared to get out there. I think that's definitely the biggest thing that came across in all of these powerhouse women for me today. And if you want to get in touch with me, you are more than welcome to reach me. My website is designerartgraphics.com. And you're more than welcome to, I think, Erica, I've given you my meeting link, which I will post as well, because I'd like to offer anybody listening in today a completely free brand review, which it only takes an hour. We'll have a look at your branding. We'll have a look at the psychology behind it, any advice that you may need from there.
I love that. Yes, thank you, Natasha. And someone shared their sentiments in the comments that you are just amazing and that they love having you as a strategic business collaboration partner. And I 100% agree. I think you are incredible with just having such a true heart to help others. Laura, you are, all of y'all are so amazing. It's so hard to I'm like, we got to wrap this up. We only got 2 minutes, but gosh, all of you are so serious about making a difference. And Laura, I love that even your story of getting out of your own comfort zone so that you can help other people. You do that on a daily basis. So can you share with us what's that final word of wisdom that you have and how can we support what you're doing?
Yeah, thank you, Erica. So I think for me, what I want to leave you with is really embrace your uniqueness and what makes you different. So rather than trying to be better, just try and embrace what makes you different and really kind of embrace that in everything you do. Because I think that for me is the thing when you start to rather than following what other people are doing, you just embrace yourself and you really, embrace that. And I think when you start to really have a bigger impact and really start to come into your own. So yeah, that's it. And in terms of next steps, if you're interested to learn more, I want to point out a free quiz that I've got. I've had lots of feedback on, people have found really interesting. So it's basically, you can find it at inspirati.com/brand quiz. And basically it helps you find out how impactful is your brand, the elements you're missing, and it also gives you personalized steps you can take to strengthen your brand based on the results you've taken. So I really recommend you checking out that. But you can also, I'd love to connect with you. Please connect with me. I'm active on Instagram, Inspirati Studios. I've got a YouTube channel, Inspirati, where I share lots of tips and around branding, websites for small business owners and entrepreneurs. And yeah, so please do connect with me, visit my website and check out the quiz.
I love it. Thank you, Laura. Okay. And Monica. And thank you, everyone. I know we're when we get speakers, I'm always like, we have 60 minutes. Well, we got 68 minutes, something like that. But in a short time, can you, Monica, let us know what's been that big takeaway for you and how can we get connected and support what you're doing?
Yeah. So I think the biggest takeaway is trust that every single day you're getting closer to your goal, whatever that is. Some days it's going to be like, whoa! And other days it's not. You're going to be probably going to bed crying. And that's okay. It's okay. It's part of the process. Remember, we showed up. That's all. I think another piece to this is, having that gratitude, being thankful for the things that you do already have and focusing on the things you already have instead of the things you don't have yet. And then start speaking the things you want into existence. And then just trusting. And here's the hard part. This is something that God's working on me. And some days it's like gritting my teeth. It's surrender. Whew, that's a big one. Big one. So surrender. Just know all of this it takes some time. It's not going to happen overnight. And that's okay. That's part of the process. It's part of the onion peeling, right? So just trust the process. Trust that every day you're getting closer. And then on the days you don't feel close, just know I showed up. I showed up. So if you are wanting to, maybe you're struggling with your marketing, or maybe you're struggling with your messaging. You're like, I have this big idea. I have a big thing, but how do I bring it down to manageable posts or manageable content that gets people to be like, oh yeah, Cassandra does that. Erica helps do this. How do I do that? I want to invite you to a free content audit where I will look over your social media and I will help you see, okay, here's what I'm seeing as a content strategist, as someone who loves content and marketing. And here's how some ways you can, step up a little bit and like do some more fun things. If you are an author who has a book and you're struggling to get that out there, then the landing page is not quite ready. It's almost ready. But ask me. You can follow me on Facebook, Monica Lynn. Find me in the chat and you can become friends with me. And so that, is a great way to ask me. But I have a membership called the Author Marketing Lab, where every month you'll get a training about marketing or how to market your book. You're going to get 2 co-writing spaces every month where we get to sit down and just write in our books, write marketing copy with the opportunity to see, to have the group give you feedback, and you have a community inside the Band app where you can ask questions and get support throughout the month. So those are my 2 things. Awesome. I would love to have you come on board and ask me questions or get to know me in that way. Thanks.
I love it. Thank you so much, Monica. And Cassandra, wrapping us up, can you tell us what's your biggest takeaway and how can we support you? And hello to Monica. Super. Listen, my son, Joshua, who's now like a teenager, which is crazy. He has a cameo in all of my videos. So I feel like it's like a rite of passage for us to get a cameo. So, hey, superstar. Okay. Cassandra, how can we support you and what you're doing?
Sure. Biggest takeaway, God has a plan for your life. When you follow that plan, it won't be a bed of roses, but life becomes so much easier. You can support me. Visit my website, CassandraRhill.com, CassandraRhill.com. There you'll see the courses available as well as books. One of these books is my 28-day devotional, He Restoreth My Soul, Triumph Through Adversity. If you're ready to grow closer to God, have that relationship where you know His plan for your life, you can purchase an autographed copy directly from me. Just send me a message there on the website and we can get you an autographed copy. And my website again, CassandraRhill.com, or feel free to message me on Facebook. My page is in the chat.
I love it. Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you to everyone that has been on live. Y'all, it is a wrap for our first session tonight or today. I'm like, we talk so long, it's nighttime, but I just want to tell you right now, if you are watching and you're like, something resonated with you from one of our speakers, make sure that you go to AmplifyHerMovement.com so that you can get connected, you can get their bios, you can get their links. And if you know that you have a powerful story and you need to be on the next panel, let me tell you what we have going on right now with Amplify Her. It's all about the movement. So to break that down for you, if you know that you're ready to show up more, you want more opportunities, if you want a guaranteed featured media opportunity every single month, get featured in our magazine. And that's the M. So all you got to do for that is get your starter kit. So if you go to increaseyourvoice.com, grab your $27 starter kit to be a contributor to the Amplify Her movement and get a featured article or ad in our event magazine. Now, if you know you're ready to take it up a notch and you want your own show, we have launched the Amplify Her network. So if you have been talking about this podcast since 1955 and the podcast still isn't out, we're removing all excuses. Get into the VIP loft. Let us help you to produce your podcast and stream it on the Amplify Her network. So you just need to be in the VIP loft. If you go to increaseyourvoice.com, you can get started or you can upgrade into our VIP loft, have your own show, speak at our upcoming events, or you can become a certified voice and start teaching masterclasses and courses in the Amplify Her community where you're able to reach thousands of women around the world. So that is it for this session right now. I'm telling y'all, it's time to expand your reach. You are sitting on an idea that someone else has been praying for that idea. They've been waiting for it, and you have the keys to help them step out. And that is what Amplify Her is all about. So if you're not in the inner circle right now, I'm going to take like a dramatic pause. And that's my look, like, girl, get in the inner circle, get in there, get connected, because this is not our only summit. You will be guaranteed 10 opportunities to speak every year. So consider yourself fully booked. Consider yourself connected with opportunities to write, to share, and to speak just by being a part of the community. So we will see you in the next session, and that is taking place today. If you're watching live at 7 p.m. Eastern, we're still talking about that mindset shift, and you're going to be able to hear from other speakers who are a part of the AmplifyHER community. So I'm always telling y'all to go out and be so amazing that people can't help but to support you. I see someone talking about 1955. Y'all know I'm random, but I just cannot wait to bring our other speakers. But don't forget also, you can hear from some of our speakers that you saw today, Rita, Janine. Many of them have also submitted powerhouse talks that you're going to be able to see today. So I'll see y'all in the next session, and that is at 7 o'clock Eastern. So take a moment right now to set your alarm, and we'll see you soon.